Part 2. Verdant Wind. Harpstring Moon. The Golden Scheme. Claude leverages his victory at the Battle of Gronder to secure reinforcements from Alliance lords. Meanwhile, the Imperial Army continues to tighten its defenses at Fort Merceus in anticipation of an attack on the Imperial capital.
Hey, Professor, got a minute? Look, I'm sorry I snapped at you. I didn't mean to lose my temper. I was rude to you. I should have known better. Huh, I thought you might say that. In that way, you're just like Captain Gerald. You accept other people. You don't let petty details get under your skin. Well, when I was a kid, I kind of latched onto him. I've been calling myself his apprentice ever since. He spent some time in the village I grew up in. Actually, you weren't with him back then. Why not? Huh. Maybe he left you with a relative or something. Anyway, back then, Gerald's job was to deal with poachers. Well, they were bandits, but we called them poachers. Nobody in the village could stand up to them. But your dad, he took them on like it was nothing. I was so impressed. All I could think was how amazing mercenaries were. I'd lived in that tiny village my whole life, so to me, Captain Gerald was nothing short of a legend. So I went right up to him and I told him I was going to be his apprentice. He didn't stick around long after that, but he did teach me a lot while he was with us. Tactics, strategy, training routines, it was all so new and exciting. So after he left, I kept at it, kept training, just like he taught me. Me too. I always planned to meet him again once I became a top-tier mercenary. But I'm just glad I got to see him, to thank him properly and all. I've spent my whole life working to become a great mercenary like your father. There were so many times when I wanted to ask his advice, but I couldn't. I just had to make do. That's how I've made it this far. Just hard work, all on my own. But then you come along. And it's like you don't appreciate Captain Gerald at all, or how lucky you were to have him around your whole life. Oh, it still really bothers me. You might be his kid, but I'm still his best apprentice. Got it?
Our objective is Enbar, the Imperial capital, but our greatest obstacle lies before that.
And what's that?
Fort Merceus. If we can't pass through, we won't be able to reach Enbar.
Fort Merceus, the impregnable fortress, or so it's called.
If I recall correctly, it's sometimes referred to as the Stubborn Old General.
It is a massive fortress that was constructed to protect the Imperial capital.
The Imperial army we defeated has withdrawn to Enbar. Fort Merceus should be short on soldiers for now.
It would be best to take it before enemy reinforcements arrive. Still, there's a reason it's been called impregnable. The only real question is what our fearless leader intends to do.
Sorry for the delay, everyone. Those mewling lords kept me from leaving for quite some time.
So, were you able to secure additional reinforcements?
It's gonna have to wait until next month. It doesn't look like they can afford to keep supporting us at present.
Then what should we do about Fort Merceus? Do you plan on waiting around?
No, if we wait until next month, the enemy will have bolstered their defenses. That said, the prevailing theory is that you need triple your enemy's forces to take a fortress with a frontal assault.
Right. That's what we were taught at the academy. And this is Fort Merceus we're talking about. It's renowned for its strong defenses.
Our current army isn't nearly strong enough. What to do?
Whatever you do, just don't ask us to scale those huge walls. We'd end up dead when they hurl rocks down at us.
Yeah, no thanks. If only someone would open up the gates for us from the inside.
Unfortunately, we don't have any spies in there. Wait a minute. I've got it. We sneak in, stir up confusion, and open the gates ourselves to let our allies in.
Right, that's what I was saying all along.
Right, nice one, Hilda. But how do you propose we go about sneaking in?
Disguises? If we dress up like Imperial soldiers, maybe they'll think we're allies and let us in.
Do you really think they'd just open the gates for us? I'd be pretty dumbfounded if that worked.
No, she's onto something. It's a good idea, Hilda. We just need to refine it a bit, and we'll be in there before we know it.
Really? Go me!
What is your definition of refining the idea? I know your go-to strategy is nausea-inducing poison, but...
Oh, I maybe ate too much. My stomach hurts.
Raphael, why are you eating meat during a war council?
So, fearless leader, I'm guessing you're going to keep the crucial parts of your scheme under wraps until the time comes, aren't you?
You know me so well, Judith. Whether we like it or not, this war puts a damper on all of our spirits. What's wrong with trying to have a little fun every now and again? Just leave the details to me.
You know when you work your muscles and they start screaming? That means you gotta be nice to them. If your muscles are hungry, you gotta feed them. And let them rest when they're tired. Of course! If my muscles hurt, then I hurt. If they're hungry, well then I'm hungry too. What's with the confused face, Professor? You look like you don't get a word I'm saying.
Standing face to face with those whom I went to school with. On the field of battle. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior. Claude takes care of the strategy, you direct the troops, and the rest of us focus on the fighting. As long as the system keeps working, we can win any battle, no matter the odds. That's what everyone's saying, anyway. Hope you can keep up with our expectations, Professor.
I never used to care whether I lived or died. But after seeing so much death firsthand, I now realize how precious life truly is. I'm ashamed of how arrogant I was to think that death could mean so little.
Fort Merceus is old and strong. Its reputation for durability is equal to that of Aryan Road. Are we really going to leave this to Claude, with a plan concocted by Hilda of all people? I thought you might be, with how secretively that man devises his schemes. Let us hope the end result is not too outlandish.
It can't be My relationship with the Boar Prince began even before I was born. He was always by my side. You might even say that, at one time, we were best friends. I couldn't fathom the depth of his hatred for the Empire. So much anguish. Could I have saved him? Could I have stopped him?
There is still more to learn.
As I suspected, they seem to be supporting the Imperial Army now. Though I don't quite know who they are yet. Nor do I know what tricks they'll use against us next. We can't afford to let our guard down.
This
The battle at Gronder Field was gruesome, wasn't it? But perhaps it's irresponsible to look away, to close our eyes to the horrors of war. As survivors, we must ensure that all these lives were not lost in vain. We must see the tragic foundations upon which we'll build our future. May an age of peace rise from the ashes, so that all this sacrifice means something.
Please tell Claude not to give us any more ridiculous orders. I've reached out through all of my channels, but there are limits to these things. I'll have to recruit an entire town's worth of people if I ever plan on making enough Imperial uniforms.
I wonder how far we can get with this plan, dressing up like Imperial soldiers to sneak in. Claude said it could use some refinement. Any ideas? Dress me as Edelgard? But we look nothing alike. On second thought, let's just stick to the plan as originally conceived. That seems safer.
I've come... I've...
I think this is working.
Nope.
Let's not... That... That's... That...
I would like to ask you something. A satisfying answer.
We'd better get to work.
We'll manage. Can't argue with results, can you?
I think I've got the idea.
This should be suitable.
Now to apply this knowledge.
I didn't even know I cared this much.
It seems my proficiency has improved.
Now to apply this knowledge.
Well worth the effort.
Professor.
That wasn't so bad.
I'm really get.
I am getting to the heart of it.
I'm just not there yet.
Professor.
Thanks.
May my song reach the goddess in the sky.
Music speaks to the heart. It's more powerful than any weapon.
Professor, a moment. I am sorry that I doubted your ability. I deeply regret ever holding such a view of you. It is obvious to me now that you are extraordinary. Do you doubt your own power, even now? I suppose that's only natural. You've lived your whole life knowing next to nothing about yourself. Not even Geralt could have possibly known all there is to know about you. But I wonder, are you satisfied with that? Are you content, not knowing who you are? Or do you yearn to know more? That was a foolish question, of course. You are not the sort to be complacent. So, only one more question matters. Are you ready? The truth. All of it. Learning it will doubtlessly have direct consequences on your life. I do not know what those will be. You may decide, once you learn it, that you wish you hadn't. But even if you have such regrets, you will never be able to return to ignorance. So, are you ready to know the truth? I see. That is what I wish to hear. Since the Archbishop put so much faith in you, I will continue to offer my aid. More than that, I will put my faith in you as well. And I will do all that is within my power to help you someday reach the truth.
Can't argue with results, can you? Something.
I delivered our letter to Fort Merceus. I don't think they suspected anything.
I knew I was right to entrust that task to you. You've got that honest kind of face that makes it easy to fool people.
Is that meant to be a compliment?
What did you write in the letter?
I informed them that reinforcements were on the way. It would have been suspicious for troops to show up unannounced.
So, the plan is...
We'll disguise ourselves as reinforcements from the Imperial capital and sneak into Fort Merceus.
Oh, you used my disguise plan after all.
We've also procured Imperial Army uniforms.
Ooh, good work. I knew this was the only way.
However, that alone wouldn't be enough.
You did say the plan needed a little more refinement. Are you going to dress up like Edelgard, Claude?
I'm not sure that would accomplish much. In the letter, I included the name of the Imperial General leading the reinforcements. While we're heading to the fort, a separate army is going to attack us.
We're going to be attacked?
That's all just for show, though. It'll be our allies who are attacking us.
Oh, I get it. We're going to make it look like the Alliance is attacking Imperial reinforcements.
Right. When the troops in the fortress panic and open up the gates, we're in.
I'd love nothing more than for this plan to work, but I've got some bad news for you. Apparently, the notorious Death Knight has been placed in charge of defending Fort Merceus.
The one who kidnapped Flame.
The Death Knight. I did not wish to ever think of him again.
He got some acclaim in the battle to subjugate Western Fargus. They say he holds the most military prowess in the Empire.
Even so, we've got Teach here to command us. All will be well. You have to trust us.
So your big plan is to just trust your professor? Really, boy?
Under the professor's guidance, I'm sure we'll manage somehow. We're counting on the tactics you learned from Captain Gerald.
Prepare yourselves, everyone. It's time. Teach, this is for your ears only, but there's actually one more part to my plan. I had hoped it wouldn't come to this, but I have no choice. Absolutely. We can't afford to hold anything back. Thanks to Edelgard's strength, the Imperial Army is more unified than I would have expected. It was a painful realization, but After our battle at Gronder Field, it's clear that we can't win if we don't pull out all the stops. I also realized something else during that battle. There really is something special about you, Teach. The reason we were all able to keep our cool in the midst of the chaos was because we all trust in you, in your command and in your strength. Everyone here believes that we will win as long as we have you on our side. Our faith in you is borderline religious. You and I, we have what it takes to free Fodlan from the Empire's rule. I know in my heart that we'll make it through to witness the world after all the fighting has ceased.
That man approaches.
Who are you talking about? You don't mean that professor, do you? It doesn't matter. No one can take this fortress.
Sounds like a bother. I'll be taking a nap about now.
Will Death's scythe claim you? Or will I fall to that sword of yours?